Holy shit. We'll start there. So, if you actually still watch these, obviously you've seen that I haven't done anything in the last like 2 weeks. And I think it's pretty obvious why. Um, this is at my office space that I like to be at, and we're not supposed to be here conducting business anymore. I am actually breaking those rules right now, but I'm only doing so for two reasons. One, I have a meeting at 1 o'clock, and it's important that I be on those. So I figured I'd come at this time so I could also have this computer to do those meetings. But two, I'm coming to take a lot of stuff from here. I am gonna take some of these screens and the computer home with me so that I can work better from home for everybody. I hate working from a laptop, and I've been working from a laptop for a couple of weeks now. And I thought it wouldn't be that big of a deal. This whole coronavirus thing. I thought mass hysteria. I thought people were blowing it out of proportion. And clearly, I was wrong. 120,000 people in America have it now, and whether my opinion on the severity of the illness itself, my opinion on the quarantine itself, the libertarian in me screams, "How dare you tell me what I can and can't do with my business? If people don't want to come, they don't have to come." But regardless of that, I'm a greater good guy. I said that last week on a call I was on, and I understand that for the greater good of everybody around me and their comfort levels and stuff, I need to shut the hell up and just play along. It's not going to hurt me to do so. If things get extra froggy and they want to do some crazy things like martial law and start having uh, people patrolling the streets trying to lock it down, that's when you'll see a different side of this person. But for right now, I'll play ball. So I'm gonna take things from here to make sure that I can be at home and be more productive. The first week that this all happened, I even went to Lowe's. I think I went to Lowe's twice, and I got some wood and I got a magnet to do some magnet fishing and stuff. And it was because I was like, well, if I'm going to be at home, I might as well be productive and do something, and I can go magnet fishing because I don't need to be around people to do that, and they're still allowing people to fish. Uh, so that won't change. I'm still going to go fishing. I'm still going to do that because you can definitely social distance from a stream that doesn't have a road anywhere near it and doesn't have people other than a couple other fishermen that are, you know, doing what they do. And also, let's be real, a lot of people that fish at this point in their lives, or at this point in the world, are older people that so they're smart enough to know I might be at risk of getting something. I'm gonna stick around inside and not go fishing. But so I'll still do that. But I'm definitely, it sucks, but I'm not gonna go to Lowe's again. I want to go to Lowe's so bad. I need like 1,000 pounds of wood so I can build some stuff and stay productive once business is done and the kids are taken care of and stuff. But this is wild. From a real estate perspective, it's done some different things. It's been scary. I've watched a lot of banks halt funding for a lot of things. I'm playing with scissors over here. I'm so nervous about this whole thing. My anxiety is through the roof. Um, but so just to give you a perspective as to what's happening on the lending end of things. So as a broker, we can work with whatever banks we feel work with us the best on the wholesale end of things. And some of those banks have what's called a non-QM product, which is basically an oddball product that they specify or they specialize in for a specific type of borrower: self-employed borrowers, real estate investors, people with messy tax returns. Those are all gone. I mean, I got an email this morning from a bank saying, non-QM is not dead here or something along those lines, but that bank is not good. So, like, I'd be better off to tell my client to wait a month, 2 months to see if this all blows over and we can send them to a better bank that'll give them a better rate, and they'll probably still close on time. Or at the same time, I should say, because the bank that's still rocking and rolling would not close on time. But, so that's changed. But fortunately for me, I get in where I fit in when it comes to that kind of stuff, and the bank statement loans, the self-employed borrower loans, the investor cash flow options. While I'm educated on them and I know how to do them, and I will gladly do so, a lot of times with those, I wasn't shouting from the rooftops that we did those because it wasn't my specialty. You should definitely specialize in something in this market, in this industry, I should say. And that wasn't mine. My broker owner, she's a guru with numbers. She's a guru with tax returns. She's a guru with all that stuff. And if I were to ever get something, I would likely, work hand in hand with her on it, because like I said, she's the one who hardcore specializes in that kind of thing. But it did still affect me, because I do still have self-employed borrowers, and some of them did not qualify anymore. And not a bad thing. It just means that they're going to have to, wait a little longer, maybe, or get some things in order before we can go further into the process. But the mortgage process itself hasn't changed. We're super electronic about it all. We always have been. We've got banks that have reached out and said they're still at 98% capacity, so we can still do our job on that end. The only other hurdle that we have ran into is that a lot of banks, and when I say a lot, I think at this point every bank that I work with has changed their qualification standards. So what used to be like a 580 credit score or a 56.9% debt to income ratio, which is like all of your bills after your pay, they've changed those standards to allow themselves to have better qualified borrowers, just to make sure that people don't get loans that are just going to default before they even make a first payment, because people aren't working right now. So they raised their credit scores from like 580 to 620, 640, 660 in some cases. And then with those, they've said that they need more down payment the lower their credit score goes. So there's no longer like 580, 3.5% down payment on an FHA loan, bottom of the deal, or bottom line. Now I know there might be a 10% down payment, or I think I've heard as much as 50% down payment. But so that's really going to hurt some people. But like I said, it's all temporary setbacks. It's all just means maybe you got some money to set aside to make sure when you do qualify again, when we do find you a house again, because you're not looking right now, because you can't look right now, you'll be able to buy a new couch to put in your living room instead, because you can still save up, maybe if you're still working or financially responsible with your money and are doing that right. So it's been stressful, if you can't tell by my face. I made a thing on Facebook, a status on Facebook that says maybe we should use this time away from everybody to drastically change our looks, so that when we all come back to work, nobody knows who's who. And I think I might be taking it a little too literally. My hair is terrible right now. There's no such thing as a fade on my hair right now. But that's fine. I kind of want to do something different with my hair anyways. I always get bored. So I'm going to change it to a style I had years ago. And I'm going to just let the facial hair grow. We'll see what happens. If any of you have seen Joe Dirt, Dennis Miller is the radio guy who's interviewing Joe Dirt. And he says on there, and I quote it all the time because everybody, especially all my guy friends, I like to bust my chops about my facial hair because it's patchy. And Dennis Miller on the show, when he talks to Joe Dirt, who's got that goatee and the mutton chops, and he says, "You mean to tell me you are so ingrained with white trash DNA that your facial hair just grows in like that?" Well, that's me. I don't get anything in that little area right here. So we'll see if it connects. I'll clean up my neck, I think, because that looks like crap. But I'm just going to let it grow. Screw it. If I'm just going to be at home after today anyways. Why not? Although it's itching. It itches like crazy. So yeah, I'm trying to look for the on the bright side of things. Trying to have some fun with it. I know I've seen some people who have taken to TikTok. Welcome to TikTok. Jason O'Neill, you monster. All he had to do was get naked, and he got 2 million views on his TikTok. And he's got like 12,000 something followers. And my God, you can build off that, man. 12,000 followers, trust me, from a guy who's had, the colorblind dad video, I got recognized The Saturday before St. Patrick's Day, I was out because it was still okay to be out then. I got recognized from that video. That video was from May of 2015. We're talking almost 5 years ago. And this girl stared right at me and went, "I'm sorry, are you the colorblind dad?" And my friend thought it was the most hilarious thing. It was like she fangirled on me. So, man, you got 12,000. I mean, and that was as of yesterday. You might have 13, 14, 15 now. Build on that. Keep getting naked if you have to, because you can make money off of that. And in the businesses that we are in, you can definitely leverage it to make more money internally with Conduit Creative. I've seen people who have used real estate. I know one real estate agent got 13 deals last year from TikTok. TikTok got her 13 deals. 13 deals is more than the average real estate agent closes. I know I got a lot of very productive real estate agents on my Facebook. Maybe those are the ones that are going to see this, and they'll think 13 deals is nothing. I do 30. I do 50. But most are doing 5 or 6. Let's be real. So, I mean, y'all, if you're bored, get on TikTok. It's super easy, and it's fun. And, damn, it'll take you down a rabbit hole if you're sitting there at 11 o'clock at night, bored out of your mind, watched all the Tiger Kings. You can sit there for hours just laughing at people's stupid videos. You'll also have to get away from all the thirsty chicks trying to shake everything they have for views. That's annoying. But have some fun. Look on the bright side of things. Like I said, I'm gonna go nuts. I actually have a TikTok. I've memorized. I played it on the way back from fishing yesterday. I played the audio like 5 or 6 times in a row. Actually, probably 10 times in a row to try and memorize the audio so that I could do it in real time and not slow it down so that it looks better. But I really got to get out and do that TikTok. It could get 100 views because I have one that's got like 20,000 views, but most of mine only get like 200 or 300 views, maybe 500. But it's fun. Just do it. It's fun. TikTok is being taken over by Gen X and millennials. Those 16 and 18-year-old kids need to understand we started this social media stuff. We'll take it where we want to. TikTok, what's up? Anyway, so when it comes to the real estate end of things, we're all right. We're looking on the bright side of things. We can still close houses. We can still do our process. I mentioned Jason and Conduit Creative. They have the virtual capabilities to give you 3D tours of houses. And you can still buy sight unseen. Maybe it's a house you've seen already, and you've been, maybe we'll find something else. And, well, right now nothing else is there because you can't go see something. And a lot of people maybe not listing their homes right now because nobody's going to see it anyways. So inventory is ridiculously low. If you have a house you really like that you saw a month ago and it's still on the market, maybe you should just make a damn offer. And if that's the case, we can close your loan. We can do the e-notary now in Pennsylvania. I can do everything I can do on my end as long as you still qualify with the increased standards. So real estate is still rocking and rolling. Here's another thing just in real estate, on the real estate end of things. If you already own a home, if you ever thought about refinancing, do it now. At least look into it, right? Because while rates are not the lowest they've ever been, they are still amongst some of the lowest rates that have ever been. If you got a mortgage 10 years ago, I can almost guarantee you your rate's going to be lower. And in that case, you can maybe cash out on some of the equity you have in the house and then use that equity to, A, have a cushion during this corona thing, B, invest in real estate, buy a rental property, C, invest in the stock market. The Rothschild said himself, opportunity is best when there's blood in the streets, even if it's your own. Right now, because the stock market is so shaky, there's opportunity to make some money. I know if you would have invested in Zoom a month ago, you would be banking on Zoom stock right now because everybody's got to do Zoom meetings. I'm supposed to be at a Zoom meeting now. Oops. But hey, that Zoom meeting is about doing things that help me reach clients and reach borrowers and reach people I can help, and I'm doing that right now. So my Mr. Rogers moments, I like to have them. Here's one. Look on the bright side of these things. You have a chance to get some things done at home. You have a chance to appreciate the smaller things, the finer things. And something that I like to really do a lot, when I say a lot, I'm talking like 10 times a year. Once a month, maybe I'll do it. I like to stare at my kids.
stare at my wife. And I don't even think, and so this might be, if my wife watches this will be, by the way, I stare at you and you don't know it. I like to sit there when they're doing the most normal of things. The most recent one, my daughter was just building Legos and watching Sam and Cat on Netflix or Disney Plus or whatever. And I just sat there and stared at her. And I do it with my son when he's on his Xbox. I just sit there and I stare at him. I watch his fingers go nuts on that controller as he's playing, Rainbow Six or Fortnite or Minecraft. And I just watch and stare. And at some point I accidentally smile because it's like, damn, that's my girl. That's my boy. That's my wife. Appreciate them. Appreciate the things. Because, hell, if anything's going to show you that shit can change real quick, it's something like COVID-19 and making everybody shut down. The world is kind of on pause in most places right now. So that's proof is in the pudding. Appreciate what you've got, because when a global pandemic strikes, you are literally only with the most important things in your life: your family, your loved ones, your belongings, your home. So yeah, that's that. Real estate can still happen. We can still do our job. It's just a little more difficult right now. But like a phoenix, we shall rise from the ashes. Right? The cream rises to the top. We will rock and roll. We will kick some ass. And we will get through this. Aside from that, with this whole thing and me trying to be a little more productive in my life, or maybe not even more productive, just staying productive. Complacency kills. That's something that they told me in the Army, and it stuck with me. Because it goes with everything in life. Don't get complacent. Don't get bored and sit on the couch all day. Don't literally saturate on your sofa. Get up, do something, have some fun, make some arts and crafts. For me, before, as much as I hate to say it, I don't think I'm going to get the Lowe's again for a little while. But before this shutdown became so hardcore, went to Lowe's and got some wood, built a deck box, and we've cleaned up the garage a little bit. I'm going to do that even more this week, hopefully in a hardcore way this week. Clean the basement. We did so much stuff. And I know I've got other friends that are, a friend of ours is redoing basically her whole apartment right now, just because it's just her. And so she's taking the time to do all that. Take the opportunities where you get them. And right now you got an opportunity to do the things that you always said you don't have time to do, like clean your basement. I cleaned our basement. We cleaned our basement. My wife had to get involved because I was throwing everything out, and it was giving her a panic attack. But so we cleaned that basement, and now that's a great place for the kids to hang out. We've unpacked all the boxes that have been there since we moved in July, and my daughter will sit down there for hours playing with Legos. I don't know any parent who will ever say, put the Legos down. You've been playing Legos too long. It keeps your mind going. And maybe she'll be an engineer one day. I do have a friend from my very young life. I was like 4 or 5 years old, and he lived across the street. He was a Lego freak, and I think he's now an architect. My cousin was a big drawing guy, and he's now an architect. So keeping their minds creative, that's awesome. And I get to do that now I get to see my kids do that now because we have that clean basement. So they can hang down there, and like I said, we got a big old TV down there. They can hang out on the couch and watch TV. They can play on this Lego table, play with their Nerf guns or their American Girl dolls, whatever. But it's really cool that we got to get that done, and we can move on to some other things. But it's been a wild ride. So those are my Mr. Rogers moments here are appreciate the finer things and see the opportunities that you have right now and take those opportunities to do something productive in your life that you wish you had the time to do 6 months ago. You've got the time now. Do it. Aside from that, I don't want to get too wild, too crazy. I've been 20 minutes in almost at this point. And as I say with every one of these things, if you stuck around for 20 minutes, you give a shit what I have to say, and I appreciate you for it. aside from that, keep rocking and rolling. If any of y'all want to have a Zoom happy hour, hit me up. I could use some social interaction, even if it's through a screen. Other than that, stay safe, wash your hands. Don't be going to grandma's house. Leave grandma alone. Let grandma be and tell her to wash her hands. And find the light at the end of this tunnel, folks. Find the light at the end of this tunnel. Because it's there. And we'll get out of this. We'll be fine. We'll rock and roll. I think I haven't seen America so united in anything since September 12th, 2001. This is one of those things where pressure creates diamonds, right? We're under pressure, so let's rock and roll. Let's do what we got to do. We'll get through it, and that's it. I'm not gonna go nuts. I got to tear this computer apart and get back home where I'm supposed to be, anyways. So that's all I got to say about that. Joe Dierte out.